nerderotic.com.
Dank's going to be here later, but we're going to like review this shitty movie that he isn't going to watch, and we're saving him because we love our guests.
Yeah.
I don't love the co-host, obviously, because I made him watch this, and this is terrible. This was fucking bad. It's not only Spielberg's worst movie, this is up there for worst movie of the year. It is. The dialogue is absolute shit, and let me do my little thing on Spielberg first. Spielberg is the greatest director who ever lived.
Yes.
But he lost it a long time ago, and I'm going to pinpoint it because Kate Capshaw is the Yoko Ono of Spielberg. She made him start adopting a bunch of kids. He started doing like Color Purple and all these Oscar movies when he was completely rejected by Hollywood. E.T. should have won Best Picture. Raiders of the Lost Ark should have won Best Picture. Jaws, despite what Blaine says, or Blake, or whatever his name is from Criticalist, should have won Best Picture, right? Saving Private Ryan should have won Best Picture, but he stopped being Spielberg a long time ago. And he sold out to an industry that hated him. Originally hated him and completely rejected him, but then he started praying to Moloch or whatever the fuck and doing podcasts with Big Mike Obama about Disclosure Day. And then we'll get into this movie being a UFO enthusiast, how fucking bad it was, how bad it was on its information, the dialogue, and it wasn't even about aliens.
I expected this movie's last 15 to 20 minutes to be the first 15 to 20 minutes. Like in terms of like all of this mind-blowing things that get revealed to the public and then how people react based off that, right? As opposed to this entire lead up of two characters that we really don't care about and little mystery box type of things they're trying to get you to care about that could have happened or whatever. And then finally they make this big reveal and it's over. I thought the big reveal was going to happen early on and you were going to get to deal with the fallout of all those things. And I think that's a much more interesting movie, especially if in Spielberg's words, it's going to make people rethink religion and the way they view the world and everything. No, it won't.
Odin commentary. How do you feel?
Because anything that you...
Odin's an atheist now.
I don't think my faith has been changed at all.
Odin's an atheist now because like there's no way God would let this movie happen.
The fact that they allowed that God would allow someone to write a script this bad and try to make this like, oh, how would people feel about their religion and their faith in God? And it's trying to be so smart and it's just so stupid. It's everything about it is just worthless.
Ryan, I want to say,
surface level. They didn't get into it at all. Okay, they should have none. And then the entire phone call. That was it.
The entire religious questioning was, does this make you doubt God? Nah. That was
the movie was cut at some point, was written to have the reveal earlier and have shit going on because Wyatt Russell was in the gas station and people were like grabbing water and freaking out. There's no context for why they were doing that.
No, that was everything else. There was all the fucking wars going on and like all these things that were going to happen. That like the world was falling apart.
They mentioned something about World War III, and that was really about
it. It's like North Korea, for one. You know what? With North Korea, when the soldiers leave their country, half of them will immediately defect. They will lay down their weapons and give up. It's fucking ridiculous. Can't even beat Ukraine, okay?
The casting in this movie outside of Emily Blunt was horrendous part of it.
Wyatt Russell needs to fire his agent. John Walker did nothing wrong. He keeps getting cast in these roles as a fucking cuck and a moron.
He was such a pussy in this movie. He was so pathetic. When he couldn't even back up and hit the phone. It's just like
that was dumb.
He was so emotionally unstable, not knowing how to we all dealt with a crazy fucking woman in our life, and he acted like a woman in that situation. He was just like, "What's wrong? I don't know."
That's why I think he did fine for what he had. Like he was given crap. It's more of the writing. The writing was terrible. The writing
is horrible. So yeah, like Steven Spielberg, there's glimpses of moments in this that are like, oh, that could be a good movie. There's like the music cues are good. Some of the cinematography is really good. The movie is boring as frick, man. It's freaking boring, dude. The cell phone scene where he's trying to pull over and like run over the thing. This is a long movie. And we're just doing this for like 3 minutes straight. Like we need to cut that shit. We got shit to do.
She could have just like threw the phone down on the ground and bashed it like that. Rather than
like, why are we doing this?
Just run over, dude.
And that's one example of
5 minutes on this whole thing.
Things are so inefficient in this movie. It's retarded. The scene when he's sneaking up behind all of the agents to steal their car and no one saw him.
Nobody notices him.
The dude literally looking at
He's using like the gates for cover and they're just transparent.
You can see through the gate. And I'm like,
so silly.
I had no idea whether they were like the people that were fighting were meant to be evil or the aliens were evil or anything. Because at no point do the people chasing them actually go that far. They're not mindlessly killing everyone all the time. We don't really know what the aliens are there, what prompted them to go this far on the kind of thing. We do know that the aliens seem to be magic, have like telepathic powers that can control what you think and see. They seem really dangerous, and yet somehow humans' superpower is empathy, and that seems to be the message of the movie.
But also, they can do that without the device, but then they do need the device for certain things. But it's like a lot of the same things that they can already do without it.
The power is so in depth you can never comprehend, and it falls apart after making something invisible. It's like, okay, well, is that's the extent of the power? Because I could comprehend that.
Well, something shows up on the screen here, but we don't see it. Well, why don't you guys just fire into the house?
So stupid. And then there's like a Three Stooges scene where they're like,
the premise of this movie is there are two people who are experiencers that have implanted something. The aliens have implanted that. Now, they tell you that at the end of the movie, but if you're even slightly into UFOs, you're like, okay, they were obviously abducted as children and there's some connected. So you spend the entire movie following them around because they have this crystal from the fucking Fortress of Solitude from Donner's Superman. And you're like, okay, the aliens are going to come in any minute now. And you are just following these two people around as they're talking gibberish and Wyatt Russell's being
the government's desperately chasing them for 2 hours.
Nothing in this seems to be stable. So that crystal you mentioned, when it's first, I thought it was like a phaser or something. Because like, don't squeeze it, don't put any pressure on it, whatever.
Yeah, they made it sound really dangerous.
And then it turns out that he would have just like had a seizure. Like, he wouldn't have been able to do anything. He may have taken over one person's body, but they could have stopped him. But like, no, don't shoot it. It'll go off. Like,
so the one good concept was the taking over people's body, which they didn't do anything with at all.
No, they
did one thing and then just stopped doing it.
I will say, look, just to be fair, there's a few people in our community that did enjoy the movie. There's people out on a critic list. There's a few people that I'm very familiar with that they did enjoy this movie. That's fine. I don't know what the fuck you're smoking, but that's fine. But I do want to acknowledge that there are some people that did enjoy this movie for what it was.
It's not offensive. It's not offensive.
It
is
just
not boring.
Outside of her boyfriend being a little bitch, I would say there's nothing about this that you could even remotely say is woke. As much as
of Disclosure Day,
yeah.
I mean, aside from the really diverse government agents and the people of color always having the right decisions.
When she came up and greeted all the agents, she gets the black one. She's like LaQuisha or whatever.
No, at the end in the TV studio, all the white dudes were questioning everything, and all the women of color were like, "No, calm down. We're running with this." I mean,
we're sending it out.
There's that, but yeah, it wasn't really woke. Yeah. It was just fucking retarded.
And then the white newscaster had to be told, get out of your chair.
Yeah.
What's the last Spielberg movie you guys truly enjoyed?
Minority Report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Spielberg's done a great movie in over 2 decades.
Wait a minute.
You could argue he hasn't even had a good one.
Spielberg lost his color palette. That's when he lost it. And believe me, go watch this movie. It's the same color palette as Minority Report, as War of the Worlds. It's like this gray, desaturated, blah. And he used to be so colorful, and yeah. So once that was gone, he was gone.
Yeah,
it felt like he was copying J.J. Abrams, which is a copy of him.
Yeah, there was
like the lens flares that were like J.J. Abrams-esque, and I know J.J. took that from him, but it just didn't feel natural. It felt like
I think just I talked about this morning, and he's just fucking old. And when you are young and when Jaws is happening, and if this movie doesn't work, you might be fucked forever. Your career might be over. You might never get another chance, and you have to do everything in your power to be creative and make it work. And you have that hunger and that drive to prove yourself and to get recognition from your peers and all this shit. You can create a lot with that built-in pressure and with that energy you have and with that creativity. And when you look at that run, late 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, it's fucking phenomenal. But then when you get older and you finally have all the accolades that you want, you have all the respect, people just clapping, people that'll do whatever you tell them to do. There's no more hunger to prove yourself because you already have. I think it affects creativity, and you stop pushing different boundaries and you start maybe just falling back on things that maybe you just like or that you want to do, as opposed to things that you think truly are like pushing.
You start directing movies in a folding chair with a little Pepsi next to you, sitting down
with a straw in it.
Yeah.
A bendy straw.
I don't think he like tried to phone this because it goes on for like 2.5 hours, and as it goes through, it really feels like this movie thinks it's doing something deep and complicated and making you think about existential parts of the universe, and it's just not there. Because there's essentially two ways through the movie: either you start at the interesting bit and end when it gets boring. They seem to do it in reverse in this, so you had to make people question something or think more about what was happening in the universe. Do more with kind of which side are the good guys and bad guys, what's going on between them, some kind of interaction between them. And instead we just had, does it matter if you're alone in the universe? Well, if you found out aliens existed tomorrow and they came to Earth, would it actually change anything about your life?
No.
Like, would it change your center of the universe?
I think most people wouldn't fucking believe it.
Yeah, well, most people I don't think would care.
Yeah,
most people would not care. They'd be like, okay, I got to pay my bills, man. It's cool that there's an alien in the sky, whatever. Who cares?
The whole movie should have been, the disclosure should have happened in the first 15 minutes. If you want to set up the whole World War III, actually set that up. Like, why is it happening? What are the ramifications from it? What's going on? Is it chaos? Instead of showing one gas station. And then you deal with the religions, all religions, and you deal with most of the people going, okay, but I got, like you said, I got to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a World War III where you can't trust your eyes and senses because someone could be controlling you from remotely? Like there's a whole play where it's like, what would war be like that? If we already can't trust AI because anything could be, any video could be faked. Well, now you can actually walk around the world and see things.
The underlying theme should be, are they good or bad?
It doesn't have the confidence to actually land on any of the questions that it is setting up. But then on top of that, if you ask any questions at all, because this has been assembled with toothpicks, if you ask a question at all, it collapses. It immediately collapses. So this ends on countless unanswered questions. I'm at like 17 right now for my review, just of questions that are completely unanswered. Yeah. And this movie had no intention of ever answering them. So like, yeah, are the aliens bad? Well, wait a second. If the aliens are saying that they have suicidal empathy and that we should just follow them on that premise alone, that's what the bad guys would say. But the movie positions it as if they're the good guys for that. And Garrett, I would challenge what you said about the musical cues, because the John Williams score plays it up like this is such a great thing, like everything happening here is actually okay. But then what we're seeing with the kids as we're getting this like hopeful, inspiring music is throughout the whole film, they forgot that happened because they said it was traumatic.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Yeah. Well, the music is good, but the movie is not good. So it's like you've got something that's hearkening to something that is good. You think, oh yeah, it's like an ET, like
I was gonna say the music is the only thing
I'm
that
like,
felt like Spielberg.
It's off. So I agree with you. It's like I hear that and I go, that could be good, but the scene that I'm watching and the movie that I'm watching is not good. I think like this movie had no intention of having any of those answers ever. It completely focuses on just the moment of disclosure, and that is the only idea it has. And like it's just an empty movie. And I think the problem for me, I was trying to think about like why is it that I hate it so much, other than it just being super boring, is all of the mystery questions. What's the disclosure? They really make it like they don't answer the questions when they bring it up. He tries to be really vague about what is on these chips and all that stuff. The entire time, you know exactly what it is. You know there's aliens. You know he's going to disclose there's aliens. It's not a mystery, but the movie thinks it's like,
so you're waiting for the characters to catch up to what you already know, and that is not
frame
great.
one. It just pisses me off. It makes me mad. I'm like, can we get to something like?
But also, I think it thinks it's answered some questions. So because the aliens are like tortured, you are supposed to just assume that's bad. But it actually matters why that's happening to the aliens, because they could be invading Earth, in which case it would be morally correct to try and find out something about them. But then they also think, well, if that's what you assume, then it must mean the guy chasing them is bad because he's the one that commanded them to be done like that because his wife died or something. But then at the end, he doesn't stop the woman. He sits down, and the guy who's supposed to be his enemy comes up and like feels his shoulder as if, yeah, we finally did it, lad. It's like, well, would he do that to someone who was evil?
Well, also, all of the footage that I saw in the movie of the supposed abuse didn't look like abuse. It looked like they had an alien in a chair and they were asking it questions and they were maybe trying to help it.
But didn't you hear the alien?
I think they probed an alien.
At no point did I see anything that was abusive.
This felt like a movie that was approved. This was like, because a lot of conspiracy theorists out there, rightly so, thought this would be Steven Spielberg prepping the human race for actual disclosure. Well, then we're all retarded which might be true. But no, the thing is, this felt like a government approved disclosure, like give no information at all, because they didn't. They lightly went past Roswell. They showed Jackie Gleason and Nixon, a couple that go way back in UFO lore, but they didn't touch anything else.
Yeah. The reason it's so disappointing, because I feel like, look, the trailers I thought for this were pretty good, just in terms of it revealed so little about shit and just had you making things up in your head about what it could be, which is better than if they'd given you a trailer for this actual fucking movie, right? Because then no one would have gone to see it. So I think that what we expected were a lot of things about aliens and about what it would mean in the ramifications and all this shit. But instead, what we got was like a personal story of a couple people, with the alien stuff as the complete and total backdrop. And I didn't care about that story.
Well, what's a better Spielberg movie with that exact same premise? War of the Worlds.
E.T.
War of the Worlds.
Close Encounter, War of the Worlds, E.T.
Yeah. War of the Worlds is a personal story about that one family running away from what's going on outside of them. Like, all these other things are going on. There's aliens. Oh my God. But it's so much more interesting. You don't even get a whole lot of information about the aliens. It's mainly just about
make
them.
it a sequel to Close Encounters.
Far more interesting.
Yeah.
Richard Dreyfuss comes back, and
I mean, I didn't even find the trailers to be overly good, but it was Spielberg. That's why I was interested.
Yes.
I was just, okay, it's Spielberg, it's aliens. I didn't find the trailers that engaging at all, but I think a lot of people went into it with that expectation of Spielberg on it. And I'm not saying the trailers are bad. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that if this doesn't say directed by Steven Spielberg, and if I see those trailers, I'm not thinking, oh, I got to see this movie. But because it's Spielberg. And I think a lot of people had that Close Encounters, War of the Worlds, E.T. Oh, Spielberg's getting back to his, great days. And I think that was going to set people up for a big disappointment. I know that's how I personally felt. Yeah. Very, very underwhelmed from that perspective.
Spielberg getting back in the genre where he got his start, and he is no longer that guy. That's why when you talk about like bringing George back, which will never happen, or I don't know, bringing Russell T Davies back, we see what happens every time. You can't go home again. You had that space of time where you're really good, but then once you go out and do all the Oscar bait stuff, you're no longer that guy. This is the guy who captured like the wonder of Generation X's childhood in E.T., like through the wonder of a child. This is a guy who made the best adventure movie ever made, Raiders of the Lost Ark. He made a movie, I mentioned this in my review on Critic List, where people were afraid to go into kiddie pools because they were afraid a fucking shark was going to go in there. Like that's how impactful.
And that's the thing, as Ryan said, and I've said it the last few days before going to see this movie, he's the unmatched GOAT of directors. You can never recreate his resume. It will never happen. You might find directors you prefer more, and that's totally fine. His resume, for 3-4 decades that he had an impact, and he changed a culture, things that are going to live with people forever, it will never be matched. It's unreal. And it's so many different types of movies too.
Yeah. When he was producer, when his name was on Poltergeist, which he actually directed, when his name was on Goonies, that somebody mentioned in the chat, Back to the Future, everything he touched was pretty much gold.
Tons of great animated movies fantastic.
But you compare this to all of those movies, and all of those movies, they only had one goal of just being entertaining.
Yep.
And normally, the conversation is, oh, well, what kind of ideology were they injecting into this thing? With Disclosure Day, it just seemed like it was setting up all of these actors for Oscar bait. And like throughout the whole movie where nothing is happening at all, then you have these like out of pocket monologue scenes that are played up as if they're gonna be played at as an Oscar clip. The Coleman Domingo one is what are we doing?
They're gonna be very disappointed because that shit ain't gonna work.
Yeah, and it's very clearly this. I'm like, oh, all right, this is an Oscar scene. Like Emily Blunt having a panic attack. Oh, this is an Oscar scene.
Disclosure Day. Not recommended, to say the least.
It fucking blows.
Not recommended, yeah.
It's not
It'll
good.
be forgotten by the end of the show.
Already forgotten.
Yeah. Like they forgot their own plot points. At the end, when that guy's girlfriend turned up with the magic item, and I'm like, how did you know to get there? You don't even know who this woman is. Like you've never met her throughout the entire movie.
They've never met.
Yeah, and that whole, again, this bears repeating that whole like this is going to make you question your religion and all that bullshit.
Not
It's
quite.
like no, they don't even get into it at
Will
all.
to live more like
It doesn't
Just
have
made
the
me
balls to
annoyed.
even try to make you question your religion.
No,
it doesn't. It has no teeth at all. This movie is so
They quote
sterile.
the Bible, and I'm just thinking, never mind. I don't
No,
want to
like,
I don't want to go
as
there.
a Catholic,
I
I
might
was like,
trigger rumble.
As a Catholic, I was just annoyed too because it's like, oh, you're gonna make the whole former nun thing a plot point of, oh yeah, well we've had sex. It's like, okay. Is this you trying to make me question my religion?
Very slow, uninteresting sex. Is that what the implication of that was?
That's what I. That's what I was wondering.
had sex.
What it meant in the moment. You're like, you were a nun. We had sex.
That explains a lot.
Obviously, I was a nun. Yeah.
It was very like proper sex,
Yes, very missionary.
which is against the Bible. Read Song of Songs. Okay.
It was a line written by a person who knows nothing about faith.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean somebody in Hollywood doesn't know anything about faith? That's crazy.
Wow.
I know,
Odin.
right?
But that's what's funny about Disclosure Days, because it was positioned as it's Spielberg is back. It's a return to form for Spielberg, and he's doing sci-fi again, and we're going to do something new, and it's going to challenge your faith. And then it's none of that. It's like a paint by numbers kind of a story. You could see it coming a mile away. All the other problems, but that's because that's what Hollywood thinks is challenging now. They are incapable of actually doing anything that challenges real thought because they're afraid of the ramifications of what everybody's going to say when you say something that might be considered offensive. So it's easier to say we're going to be offensive. It's the same problem with Scary Movie from last week. We're going to be offensive. We're going to cancel culture. We're going to make you question your faith. And then when you see it, you're like, you just jabbed. You didn't right hook at all. You didn't even try.
It kind of leaned into some of it and reinforced it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
the only faith that was challenged was my faith in Hollywood and Spielberg as a director.
My faith in humanity.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Hey, that's part of the movie too. You didn't lose your faith in God. You lost your faith in people.
Yeah.
No, whatever.
Okay. Random girl who was kidnapped and by the dangerous government agency that didn't kill anybody.
Yeah, so dangerous.
The worst government agency depicted in media, I think. The
very
fact Colin Firth just
stupid.
sits down, the next commander guy goes, "What are we doing?" And then they all just march out. What are we doing?
Are we going to do anything?
I think the reason why the government didn't kill
They can't
anyone-
hit anything. They're just shooting like.
It's like when they went and replaced the guns in ET with walkie-talkies. I think that's
Dude, I had the same
probably
thought
where
watching
this is
this movie.
stemming from.
I had the same thought because I was like, about 45, maybe an hour and a half into it. I don't know. It was hard to tell. I was thinking, like, did these people kill anybody? Have they
No.
done anything that was like actually that aggressive? I can't remember anybody.
No.
doing it.
Well, it's like the one opportunity where they had the ability to go and kill them when they're at the train tracks and stopped. The guy could have got out of his car, blocked them in, walked up and shot them both in the head, and it would have been all over.
They shot a lot of bullets, but they
his
didn't do
plan is to ram their car into the train for some reason.
That's a
But also,
military
that guy
training.
was acting under his own orders. He was never told to do that. That's
true.
The boss did take over a woman and go, look, if we can't get this guy, you're just going to have to kill him. So even that was like last resort, all other options out, just to stop anything happening. But now he's shown that he's willing to kill somebody. He should have shot her in the head at the end. And then if it's like at the end, well, we're going to have to kill all of you as well. At least make them evil. The only thing which has changed, like his character arc, is I saw my wife once for a few seconds. That's the only thing that could change his
Which one
personality.
is
It's like
have any
everybody
context
saw
for.
somebody that they cared about when they were leaving. They literally walked out because they appeared as other people.
It's silly.
And they knew they were appearing as other people,
Yeah.
but they still let him go.
Yeah, mind
No,
control.
then you get to the end. I'm just gonna sit down and let this all unfold. It's like, what the fuck? Why? Just grab a gun, shoot her in the head, and that's it.
Can you imagine, though, being part of like this magical twin that's been given superpowers from aliens, and one of you can make people see anything, see inside their minds, manipulate and do anything on Earth? The other guy can do maths quite well. Like these people were not given equal ability.
Yeah, that was not fair.
The problems with the film start in the very opening scene. When they have the guy outside and he's holding the obelisk, he's wearing a glove. And they established that if you're wearing it needs skin-on-skin contact to work. They could have just shot him. They
What happened?
let him
what happened to
go.
What happened to that guy that just vanished into thin air and then came back? That was an
He was
interesting
fine.
thing that happened.
He was
Never
fine.
explained again.
He was fine. No, what? But we're gonna spoil I'm gonna spoil the end for you because you're not gonna want to watch this.
Oh, we're talking about the
Disclosure
cherry.
day.
So the movie just stops. So they're in Kansas City newsroom, and they're going, and World War III is about to happen, which, you know, unless you really pay attention to the movie, this might be the first time you're hearing about it watching the movie. And they cut into the programming to have Emily Blunt talk about Disclosure Day, and they show all the footage without a ton of context, and then they bring in an alien.
Where'd it come
in a
from?
wheelchair, and they uncover him.
How'd they get
and
it
he
there?
whispers into Emily Blunt's ear.
No, he whispers into the guy's ear, who then whispers into Emily Blunt's ear.
Yeah, who basically he can translate it. So and then she's like gets behind the desk to broadcast, and she says, "Listen," and the movie ends.
Yeah, and you can hear Linkin Park like build up. Yeah, it was a good ending. I liked it.
There's no way they end with Linkin Park.
No.
You didn't finish.
Honestly, like
No,
I'm
but you'd
just
believe
saying. No, like didn't we have Gwen Stefani in the fucking movie and all of that? You know?
better movie would have ended with Linkin Park.
Yeah.
What I've done. Credits roll. Yeah. Come on.
Then the
Still
world
the best
blows up.
memes from the Biden administration were the ones of him turning around looking confused and then hitting the Linkin Park theme.
Oh, fuck.
Like, oh, the alien just told us they were actually evil the whole time. Dang it.
Yeah, listen, we're all food.
Oh.
The end. But that's where it starts, and it's supposed to like leave you like you get to decide what disclosure means. And it's like, no, you were supposed to tell us what it was supposed to be because you called it Disclosure Day.
Especially when you made it that uninteresting. That was the only thing that you could have maybe made interesting and decided, nope, leave it up to you. Oh, great.
This movie feels like a part 2 of 3 parts of a story. We miss part 1, and it would be like a prequel. And then part 3 would be what happens now that Disclosure Day has happened. But don't make that movie. We don't care. We don't want to know. But it's in the middle. But like this whole movie is just about the broadcast. And that's annoying because it's setting up all of these different access points to a story, all these different plot points. World War III, the meaning of life. The movie was never going to answer any of that.
The biggest fantasy about this is people like all of Earth were on their phones watching CNN.
It's true.
There's so many other weird things. Like, I don't know whether it was supposed to be that the aliens could see the future in some way, because at one point he goes, I could just release it all on the internet. And the guy goes, no, it has to be specifically planned. That it has to be done in a specific order. And then it randomly gets released anyway onto the news, which apparently the alien prepped for. So I'm not sure whether the alien had seen it all coming and this was all part of his plan all along, or whether it could have just been released on the internet.
You can't release it on the internet. You have to release it somewhere that's trustworthy.
But why did it matter?
CNN.
Why did it matter for this alien to be broadcast for everybody to know that this alien was there?
They
don't tell you.
That's how he does it on terrestrial television.
They just say like, oh, it's important for humans to know that aliens exist. Why? And why does the alien have an incentive in this?
Why did they pick the kids, and why did they present? Did you like that? They present themselves, they use the freaking trans terminology, as bad CGI animals. Some of the worst CGI I've seen in years.
So bad. Even that didn't make sense. So at the start, one of them comes in through a very narrow window as a bird, and then you find out they got big, massive heads. And so somehow this guy is phased through a window and then out of it again. And like, did he dismantle the wall in some way and then come through and put it back there?
They do whatever they want.
And when they see the animals, they go into a trance. And it's laughably bad.
And the answer was empathy, the word that Hollywood does not understand at all.
That is the buzzword of buzzwords.
Feelings.
Right now. They're like, could you put empathy in the script somewhere, please?
It does seem, though, that Hollywood is trying to rehabilitate journalism in some way, because we saw with Civil War, they were the heroes of that movie. In this, it was, well, the most important thing is it's got to go through the journalists, and all of those will realize the importance of the message and cancel everything else. World War's going on, but they'll know this is important. And you compare that to, like, the aliens could have just appeared in a park. Like, there's that many cell phones, it would have gone around as it is. They could have just appeared anywhere with a spaceship. There's no shutting down that message. But no, the journalists had to light the way for the rest of humanity.
Very bad movie.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.